You mentioned something interesting here, that the chefs are serving. And some people, when they haven't tried it or they haven't been there, they sometimes think that it's just a trick somehow. Get the chefs in so that the diners can feel a little bit special meeting the chef. In fact, the reason why we do this is not for the diners, but the chef themselves. Because once you start having your own restaurant and your pursuit starts not only for great products but also for great staff, because that's essential for your success. If you're going to make it, you need people that are with you and where you grow up together and you shape it together. And it was just striking how many chefs there was out there that I found that just followed the format. As such, I didn't see them as cooks or as chefs. I experienced that great housewives were better chefs somehow, because every day they cooked for somebody. They gave food for people, either family or friends or their kids or something. There's a bigger meaning for the whole cooking. Whereas I experienced a lot of the chefs, they just followed the format, the recipe. If you gave them a recipe, they would never break off from it. Even though that, since we work the way we do, one day, if it rained a lot, I've used an example of watercress. And if there's chefs in here, that if it rains a lot, then 1 hour later the watercress tastes a lot less, because it incorporates it into itself immediately. And therefore the format doesn't fit anymore. It was such a big challenge to make chefs go away from that and be less mechanical, and realizing that a recipe is not an absolute truth on how food is. That it's about taking standpoints constantly, and I felt in the beginning, and I know now that it really works, that by having chefs in there and giving them the sensation and the experience of giving food, cooking it, and then looking the people in the eyes that they serve, really changes them and changes their approach to how they will go back and taste the watercress, and perhaps think, wow, it's a little milder than yesterday. What does that mean? Is it drop more acidity, and in that comes the magic at the end. I don't want to offend anybody by saying this, and this is only on my own personal feeling. I'm not saying that everybody should be that, but I was getting really, really, really tired of what I call the act. And the act is, the way I felt it and still do, is you enter a restaurant as a diner, and everybody acts. It's like you're in theater for 3-4 hours. The waiters, they are acting like they're part of a different social layer. Everybody's so suddenly. Then when you see them 10 minutes later after the restaurant is closed, with smoke in their hand, and the same thing it was with the diners. It's as if something was expected of you, that you had to be a better person somehow, more formal, more correct in order to eat this food. And the whole experience on the table was also so highlighted it, as if the food actually tasted better because it was 5 layers of china, that each plate costed $500, and then you were served with the thickest gold or silverware and glasses that were more expensive. Sometimes it felt like that was what you were supposed to be impressed of as well. And then there's a celery soup with whipped cream. It just felt wrong, and I couldn't stand this acting. And so the restaurant, we just said, strip it all away. Get into the raw. I want to see, what's the table made of? It's made of wood. And what else should be there? Well, nothing than the necessary. And we should focus on people, the serving, the chefs. We should train them to be themselves. But don't try to act, it just makes it pretentious. And of course, fill them with all the knowledge that we think is important. Of the ingredients, and of the drinks that we serve, and so on and so on. And of course, ultimately as well, on the food. People had to come into that place and think, well, here all the energy and money and all they have is spent on food and the people that surround it. And I think with that type of ambience, it also creates a certain type of staff. And since we as well, of course, are lucky in the fact that we're part of something new, we're trying to shape our cuisine. I think that a lot of the staff, like me, they feel that they're part of something special that is quite satisfying to work with. There's more meaning to it than just making a profit, which shapes a more proud and committed team.
I've heard on Saturday nights that you do, each chef gets to present after service, Saturday night service, one of their own creations. That's not just the chefs, could it be anybody?
It's anybody.
And they present it and you critique it, and
Yeah.
and we have a couple of people who have worked for you in the audience today, and they've told me about this, and they say it's nerve-wracking, but really exciting.
Yeah.
And that you kept them up to 4 in the morning doing this.
Sometimes.
But tell us about that, and do some of these dishes end up on the menu?
So, with the chefs, they go and we forage, and they're part of it. They go and visit all the farms, and it's a big thing, and they serve for the guests and so on. We want individuals. We don't want machines. And one thing that we also started is every Saturday we started something like a little innovation session. And each week a head chef is appointed on all the different sections. There's 7 of them right now. And that head chef is supposed to create or bring forward a dish of their liking. It can be whatever. It doesn't necessarily need to be, let's say, Nordic per se. It could be Korean if they're Koreans. We just want to see what type of chef they are. And I want these chefs to start asking themselves what it is that they like about food. And it's surprising how few people actually know what it is that they like about food when it comes to chefs. They cook and they do what they're told, but what is it that they like about it? Why are they doing it? Do they just like the pure pressure, or the fact that they are some type of modern martyr, working a lot and being shouted at and all these things? Maybe some people just enjoy that, There's some weird, sick feeling. And it's so interesting to see the way that, of course there's people that really know, that has a clear idea of what they are and what they want to cook. But it's so interesting to see how it shapes. We have some people that's been with us for years, and when they start the first time, they're very nervous and they're shaking while they're dressing, and all of them, they keep saying, well, it's really nothing, I tried it, well, it didn't work out, so it's really not, they're apologizing for themselves. And most of these people, 2-3 years down the line, they are so confident in themselves and confident in their idea, and they know that trial and error is key to this development. And you asked if we put any dishes on the menu, and we don't, because often it is, it's not the, but
that translated into any language.
But once in a while it do happens. Once in a while there's masterpieces. Pure masterpieces where it's almost perfection if you can even talk about perfection. And that's theirs. It's theirs. They should write them in a notebook and build on that and see how many directions such a masterpiece can be taken into.